for Pucknology. Pucknology. After dark. After dark. Oh my.
Oh my, that game. Uh, I'm just not sure. You know how it should be described? It should be described by John Shorthouse and the Canucks Radio Network because the whole TSN 1050 is about to blow up because they blew a third period lead. Welcome to this edition of Pucknology After Dark. I am Puck14, not John Shorthouse, on the Canucks Radio Network. If you want to be a part of the show, use the hashtag Pucknology After Dark to ask questions or comment about the show. If you want to use it, you follow us on Twitter at Pucknology, at PuckGuy14, at JAlexander46, at ChrisJWS. Alright, I can't do Shorthouse all the whole freaking time, so.
Oh, I would have gone with that whole thing if you would have did that. That was hilarious. I would have given you Best Actor for that.
I was about to give you Best Muppet for that Kermit impression, but okay.
Kermit the Frog here. It's not easy being teal. All right, guys. With us tonight, my fellow Notch Bro, Gentry Alexander.
Finally cleared waivers, and I'm back. It feels
Right.
so good.
Oh, good. Yes, you are more important than Mike Brown, apparently. And Chris JWS.
I have a no trade clause here, so I'm always here.
I have a no movement clause with the team, so
I'm selling my bridge deal. I haven't earned that no movement clause yet.
I took less years. I have a 5-year deal instead of a 7-year deal because that no move clause.
Gotcha.
All right, so yeah, that game. Wow. There's just something I just can't describe about it, and maybe part of it is because that was a shitty effort through the first two periods. So, Gentry, good evening to you, sir. Your thoughts on somehow a 4-1 Sharks victory tonight?
What? Oh, that was my summary of that game in a nutshell. It was so boring, so lackadaisical. The Sharks got scored on first, and of course it had to be damn Daniel getting the first goal.
Speaking scores.
Yeah, I thought it was boring up until like the last act of it, because as with all hockey games, there's 3 acts to everything, and everything fine. The first 2 acts were boring as crap, and then the third act kind of ramped it up to a surprising ending, and this ending was the Sharks pulled it off somehow. So good for them.
Chris, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, this game was crazy. Thankfully for the horrible stick manufacturers to help out on that. But what did you think of tonight?
I agree. It was pretty boring, at least the first 2 periods. But I mean, the bottom line though is they didn't play themselves out of it in those first 2 periods. Like, I'll take a boring first 2 where they give up a goal and don't score any over first periods that are exciting, but it's they end up with a 4-2 hole or something like that. So they didn't play themselves out of it, and that's going to happen. They're going to have some boring periods. I'll take boring periods over bad periods any day. Third period, I was saying on Twitter, the top 6 needed to step up and start producing on offense, and they did just that. They produced very well. So that's what they need, and it's okay. You can have games like this. You just can't have games where, well, you suck.
Oh, you mean like that game on Friday against Buffalo?
Yep.
It's just become after 2 periods, and the Sharks were beginning the third period and essentially going on a 100-minute team schneid without scoring a goal. It just seems like they were just going to just let this get away. Let Buffalo get away the night before, and you have Montreal coming in. It's like, here we go again with all playing down to the opponent's levels, and they're going to let Vancouver slip right back into this playoff race with a huge win on home ice. And thankfully, whatever was said in the third period, thank God, because that could have been absolutely disastrous right now.
I imagine it involved Pavelski in a lot of F words. Well, okay, fucks, because it's after dark, so we can say it here. But I can only imagine that was only suitable for like HBO or the like.
Well, yeah, HBO, Stars, any of those programs. It's not worthy to be of Cinemax quality. Yeah. But I honestly think that there had to be something said in that second intermission, and I think it did involve Pavelski. I think he was just like, then of course, what does he go and do? He goes out there and gets the tying goal. Or he gets the tying goal and gets off the schneid, which thank freaking God he needed that. And it was it was a simple backhand shot that went through Ryan Miller. Backhanded shots going through Ryan Miller. I wonder where I've seen that before.
Never, nowhere. Never seen that. Ian in the chat says the puppy must have arrived.
Thank goodness. We have exclusive footage, exclusive audio of what was said in the locker room going to third period tonight.
Hey, just fucking stop. Fucking start with us. Fucking everybody, we want it, right? Want to do it ourselves. It's not gonna work that way. It's not gonna work 50-second shifts. Pace is gonna have to be fucking high. Short, get off, good changes. Can't get skated. There's a fucking lesson out there. 25 games left. Fuck. They're all playoff games for us. We got fucking nothing right now. Soft shit doesn't win in the playoffs. And these last
Yep, that was Pavelski tonight after 2 periods of play.
I'm pretty sure that was. I feel like I've heard that before.
It sounds very familiar, but yet it yields so true.
Yeah.
It's almost a year to the date. Actually, it's like 6 days off or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, no, that was in the stadium. Was that in the Stadium Series game?
No, that wasn't in the Stadium Series.
Okay,
that was their
that
game
was
against
the lead-up.
Phoenix.
I think that was like the 13th of February of last year.
Yeah, that was their game against Phoenix, and then Pavelski goes out there and gets a hat trick.
For the full disclaimer, so the NHL doesn't try to shut us down,
Again.
that is used for fair use as a supplement to programming to assist us in past historical events.
Well, and also for commentary. We are commenting on that and dissecting it and adding to it, if you will, to make a unique product. It's called fair use, guys. Look it up.
Yes.
And I'm not wearing any logos that they're trademarked.
Watch Metallica go and shut us down here.
Oh boy.
Oh
We got
god.
DMCA from Lars himself.
Yes.
He's gonna
All right.
come to your house and break your shit.
Well,
He's
it
gonna
is-
come to my house with a cymbal stand and beat the shit out of me.
well, it is Oscar night, guys. So I guess we give the Sharks best performance in a comeback role. Wouldn't you say?
That would be more of a VMAs type of category, or what would the MTV Movie Awards type of category, if anything. I would say that this was a best supporting role, because everybody who needed to get off the schneid got off the schneid, and it was the people around him that helped out. You'd have to go with the best leading. I go with best leading man. You'd have to give that to Martin Jones. Solid night tonight after his crap fest against. I'd have to go with everybody's crap fest on Friday. Let's
I think I'll
see.
go with- Sorry,
Go
go
for
ahead.
it. No, go for
I
it.
was gonna say, my best.
Go.
Okay. So my best leading man would definitely be Pavelski for breaking his schneid because he had 1 goal in the last 13 games, which I did note it was odd to me that he was not getting a lot of crap for that, because I know anytime Thornton or Marlowe went on any kind of cold streak when they were captain, it was all over the look how bad the leadership is. I don't know.
Right.
It just seemed a little odd to me. I'm not saying Pavelski's immune from criticism, but people definitely don't criticize him the way they have the past too. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's super likable and all that. I don't know. But something odd to me.
Yeah, no, it's been weirdly quiet, and yet we hear Marlowe, and I wonder why we're hearing Marlowe from an insider so much. So,
Well, he got a goal tonight, so that means he's definitely getting traded tomorrow.
yes, absolutely.
Confirmed.
We did
Marlowe to the Canucks, confirmed.
we oh god, what for the Sedines? Um,
I
I
want the Sedins.
I'm going to say this. First off, please, someone score for Anaheim in the Kings and Ducks game right now. That'd be great. Secondly, not looking at the fantasy score at all in my game right now. Swear to God.
Honestly, right about now, I'd rather the Kings win that game because they're a lot colder than Anaheim.
Why is that?
Meaning, I want to see Anaheim lose because Anaheim's probably going to pass them anyways. At least, based on what we've seen. The Kings have been floundering. Anaheim's been red hot. Take a little wind out of their sails.
Makes sense. I agree with that. Um, let's see. I'd go with best visual effect. Oh, I'd have to go with Justin Braun. I mean, I mean, much like Golem, he kind of showed up finally in the second act or in the third act with his with getting off the schneid, and I am finally able to fire at a net that was empty. There was a
But
lot of there
yeah,
was a lot of wide shots on the empty netter. That was pissing me off. I don't get that, but
and my prayers apparently have been answered. Corey Perry has scored, so it's 1-0 Anaheim. Um, and like Fusion 86 says, for the love of God, just not a 3-game point, please. To which
Yep.
Ian has replied, is it too much to ask for a meteor to hit the arena? Yes, but as long as it doesn't hurt any of the fans, because, unlike the NHL, I actually do care about the fans. Back to you, Chris.
That's what I always say. Whenever it comes to two teams I hate and they're playing, I don't root for one to win. I just root for one of them to lose. But if possible, a meteor is always a great third option.
Hey, they are in Southern
Ian was noting in the chat that the Oscars would snub the Sharks because we have Joel Ward. Hashtag Oscars so white.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's kind of true.
That's very true, sadly.
Unfortunately.
Nobody would nominate straight out of San Jose. We've been here for years.
Well,
This game was less like a hockey game is less white than the Oscars. What does that say?
Oh.
And I always scold AJ for getting on this stuff, so let's
let's
move
on. Let's take a look at the standings as of this moment. All right, so LA is at 76. Of course, they're playing right now as they are also playing Anaheim. Interesting enough, so if Anaheim wins, it's a dead heat between LA and Anaheim. Technically, LA would still hold the tiebreaker because they have more rows. Who knows if Gen X is watching us tonight?
You just need a recording of Eric saying Rose.
I know.
We need that on the soundboard.
So Landy, if you can text me a voice memo with you saying "row" would be great. All right. With those Sharks win, that goes to 72 points. That puts them at a 12-point lead over Vancouver. The Vancouver Canucks are at 60, along with Arizona, who Arizona is now starting to fall apart as we speak. Calgary's at 56. They're pretty much done. They have 42 possible points, which would put them at 98. So we're slowly starting to get closer and closer to potentially clinching. Edmonton is just about done themselves once we get past the 89. So they are probably within the next couple of weeks they will be done for. In the wild card, just to keep an eye on that, Nashville's at 73 and Colorado is at 68. Sharks have both of them ahead of them. Excuse me. And they also have have them on the rows as well. So here's my thing. What do you think happens tomorrow afternoon? We do actually, hang on, we do have a trade to announce. Uh, the Kings have sent a fifth round pick conditionally and forward Valentin Zykov, probably the second closest name in the end of the NHL players history books, from Andre Zuzin. Uh, that's been sent to that's been sent to Carolina for Chris Versteeg. So Versteeg is an LA King now. Obviously, he's not playing in this game tonight, and LA somehow still has magical room to add more players on for another run.
Well, I think they have all that room because Gabrick is still on IR. So I think they're trying to add because let's say Gabrick is injured and it looks like it's going to be for a long time. You need something there.
Until the first game of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting scenario. Obviously, I can't see the Sharks doing anything. However, I think midway through that game when we decided to not shoot pucks on net and instead shoot pucks at our teammates, Logan Couture went out for a little bit. Haven't heard anything yet, and if all of our followers can tell us what's going on, by all means, let us know. LA has now tied it. Looks like Alec Martinez, the cup-winning goaltender, he blasted by Gibson on the power play, so it's tied 1-1 in the second period. This thing's going to come right down to the end, and I'm not sure the Sharks can. They have a nice schedule with just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 road games left on the year. And really, realistically, they do not go out of their time zone until April 2nd. Not counting Arizona's crazy timing standards and such.
Yeah, no, Arizona's so crazy not doing the stupid daylight saving. Oh, wait a minute. I think we're the crazy ones in that case, but let's not get into that. Speaking of funny scheduling and funny quirks, had you guys even heard of the Canucks? I hadn't heard of this team in
350
so long.
days.
I didn't realize they were still in the league. I mean,
yeah,
how many did you say?
358 days. Prior to tonight's game, the last time they met was on March 7th, 2015. And for those who went to Pucknology.net for my game day preview, you will realize how long ago and how things have changed since the Sharks and Canucks hooked up. Let's see, I'm trying to pull it up here. 51 weeks ago, gas in the Bay Area was close to $3.50 per gallon. Stephen Harper was the Prime Minister of Canada. Dion Phaneuf, Phil Kessel, and James Reimer were key pieces to the success of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the only time Donald Trump was on television, he was firing people on his reality show.
Wow, that's quite a change in that time period.
Feels like such a long time.
I don't know if you guys saw it at the beginning of the game. They had a thing up saying this is since 1997. This is the longest two teams that have ever gone in the same division without playing each other. Game
Really?
61. Yeah, they said this is the longest in 20 years two teams in the same division have not met in the first 60 games. So this isn't just us saying this. There is actual verifiable evidence that this is rather unprecedented. Like somehow, some way. But the Canucks after tonight, if they can play like they do in the third, this should be pretty well. They should be able to lock up their playoff spot because they play 4 of their remaining 21 against the Canucks. So there's that. There's the Coyotes who are crumbling, accounting for like another 4. So nearly half their schedule are guys that are vying for their spot. So they take care of business with those, they're in. Like
Right.
The spot has been theirs to lose for a week or two now. It's definitely going to be theirs to lose.
And basically, thank you. Basically, you have Arizona at 20 games, and that gives them potential for 100 points. Calgary is at 56, so they have 42 possible points. They can finish as high as 98 if they win out. Edmonton, forget it, they're done. Vancouver is at 102 now. So basically, the countdown is on. The magic number is slowly starting to get closer and closer as we speak. Magic number is now down to 33 for the Sharks to clinch the playoff spot. Basically, what that
33
continues.
points, right?
33 points. It's a combination of how many points the Sharks get and how many points the essentially the fourth place team, but it can vary with the amount of games left. For instance, like Vancouver has more games, even though Arizona has more rows. So it'll vary, but at the moment their magic number is wait, no, I take that back. Let's see, 21 times 2, 42 would be 102, 103. So 31. They're actually 31 is the magic number now. So now we're kind of getting into some sort of reality for playoff chances. And Gentry, my friend and my fellow Shark Pack holder, be prepared to get a playoff invoice probably sometime this week.
Sick.
Right? Hopefully,
I mean,
we will get 6 seats like we were planning to have for the playoffs last year.
I mean, honestly, this is like compared to last year when they were like trying to ask us for playoff tickets in like the beginning of January. I was like, let's dial this back. Come on, Sharks. But
They can be in denial about their stuff, like when the lockout was approaching, and like that mine was a season ticket holder the season before, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, renew your season tickets. There's gonna be no like lockout. What's that? We don't, you said that word. I don't know anything about that word. Like, give me a break with this crap. We both know what we're doing. Come on. I think I'm stupid here.
no, I'm honestly thinking that I'm excited for the prospect of playoff hockey. Do I think this team is strong enough to go deep? Yes and no. I feel like we have the pieces. If everybody were to step up, if we were able to efficiently roll all four lines, and we keep Mike Brown in the Barracuda, I'm totally fine with. I can see us, going maybe advancing past the first round if we're lucky, because let's say if we face the Kings in the first round as the number 3 seed, I feel like we'd have a good chance because they've kicked our ass at home. However, we've kicked their ass at Staples Center, so I like that opportunity to kind of beat them on home ice, and we could potentially steal one.
Yeah. And you make a great point there. You did mention Mike Brown. We unfortunately have some sad news. Mike Brown has been put on waivers by the Sharks, and Chris, you have a special that you wanted to talk about.
There will be a tribute in a little bit. I'm still preparing that.
Oh my God!
It'll be coming. It'll be coming. It'll be coming. Don't worry. Chester Tivo just gave me a graphic together.
Oh, thank you,
Okay.
Chester Tivo.
There will be high production value involved in my Mike Brown tribute.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Well, why?
I'll save my thoughts for then.
Well,
if you want,
well,
Gentry.
Well, I mean, let's kind of just break down the game goal by goal. In the meantime, I thought that Daniel Sedin goal, I mean, the Canucks crashed the net and they got one by. That's what you should do when you have numbers, and you're coming off of a nice power play. Then after that, the Sharks kind of took over, and it was Pavelski going to the net that tied it, and I liked it because, one, fantasy reasons, and two, I was like, oh, the Sharks went to the net and didn't pass it off to trick the goalie. No, they just went to the net and did a nifty little backhand. I gotta say, the goal of the night, though, that nice little that surprise one from Hurdle, that nice little tip in was awesome, and it's nice to see Hurdle score. Because it's great to see him smile. Fun must be always, guys. Come on.
Absolutely. I was just gonna say that, but my freaking mute button wasn't going. Um, but yeah, Hurdle's tipping was nice. Thank God he got a game-winning goal. Um, and it just seemed like finally we got things going. Pavelski was the man again to get that going, tied up. We got Hurdle just a minute 28 later, and we were doing good. Marlowe with the sweet power play goal. Again, like I've been preaching the whole time, if you're gonna score, if you're gonna make them pay and make them play off their game a little bit, you've got to take advantage of being on the man advantage. In just Braun from when you're up by 2, yeah, you can take those chances. Be careful though, next time. But yeah, for some reason we just even missed the net even with no goaltender in there. So it's just it's
That was
crazy. That
That
was
was annoying.
just to find a way to
Seeing them.
lose this game with like if
I
they found a way
seriously-
to have them come back and lose that game, that just would have been like, remember all those times you missed the empty net?
Patrick
Yeah.
Steffen all over again.
All right, so now that we've broken down all the goals, let's talk a little bit about some of the trades that have happened today, unless that Mike Brown tribute is ready.
No, still waiting, still waiting.
No.
Okay, let's talk.
Okay.
I mean,
So let's-
we can also go with a more Shark-specific question about the trade deadline. Like, do you guys think the Sharks are done with their moves? Have they made every move, or do you think there might be one more in store?
If I'm Doug Wilson, I keep the phone on and just puts out some feelers to see what he can do.
see who's I mean, if it's a good enough deal, if by some grace of God, Marlowe decides I'll waive my no movement clause, and here's the list, go. I'm pretty sure he can get that done, but I honestly think that there's no more moves to be made. I think that the Sharks are going to stand pat with what they have. They got everything that they needed to address. They got depth on defense, and they finally got the backup goalie. So with James Reimer, and hopefully he'll be able to make it back in time to make his debut in Teal tomorrow against Montreal.
That would be great. I don't know. Let's hope that can happen. At least for him to get here. But of course, all the immigration issues are on him. It would be interesting to see if they just threw Dell out there, just to make his debut, just to give him a reward for it. But of course, that would start his clock ticking, if I'm correct. And Ian, correct me if I'm wrong on that in the chat, of course. Yeah, Ian saying right now, unlikely because of immigration issues, he may not play. Of course, Ian coming back with, I think we still have a Stamkos up our sleeves. That would be great. That would be really, really great. I'm assuming that we are not quite ready to talk Mike Brown. So let's do it. Let's play Slushy's question. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Your first question. When the Sharks traded for Bill Guerin, they traded a first-rounder to St. Louis. Who did that player become? Is it A, David Perron, B, Jaden Schwartz, C, Chris Stewart, D, Andy McDonough?
How many lifelines do I have?
You have 20 seconds.
Oh, thanks. I'm trying to get a lifeline here. I'm gonna go with Perron. Final answer.
Chris?
Damn it, I was gonna go with Braun, but what are my other options?
Just
to make this.
Thank you for making the time run out, of course, on me. Perron, Schwartz, or Chris Stewart?
I'll say Chris Stewart.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, that is my final answer.
The correct answer is A, David Perron.
Gyro!
Great job there.
Gyro! Slumdog Millionaire. Best
All right.
picture.
Now, time for the one slushy question. What was more weird in the Stadium Series yesterday? The Red Wings gloves or the fake snow flying around the stadium?
I'm
I'll go with the
I'm gonna
fake
go with-
snow.
Yeah, fake snow.
Yeah, the snow kind of was pretty much crazy. The wind, if you didn't see the Stadium Series yesterday in Denver, the wind picked up, and the fake snow that they had for decorative purposes, of course, they didn't use that at Santa Clara last year, was starting to fly around, and it actually started to get on the rink, to which I tweeted, "It's fake snowing! Yes, we have fake snow in an outdoor game!" So, what's not fake, though, is the sad departure, most likely, of Mike Brown going to the Barracuda once he clears waivers tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Chris, you have a special piece that you wanted to share with us as we salute our good friend Mike Brown.
And stand the pain. How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading away. I'm sick of this life, I just wanna scream. How could this happen to me?
Yes. How could this happen to us? We've lost a great hockey player today. We may never see it again. 104 games, 3 goals, 5 assists. The stuff of legends right there. Minus 13, 160 penalty minutes, 92 shots on goal, and 21 fights. It's, a big loss to the Sharks. I don't know if it's possible for them to win anymore without their teddy bear in the locker room. It is a sad, sad day, everyone. Just a moment of silence and a little more simple plan to see him away here.
No, I can't. How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading away. I'm sick of this life, I just wanna scream. How could this happen to me?
Mike Brown, definitely a great competitor with Sharks and Strikes. That was beautiful, guys. That was absolutely beautiful. Chris, thank you. Chester Chivo, I think. As I see Gentry try to cover up his tears, it's okay, Jen.
It's like losing your best friend.
He had as many goals as John Scott did in one season with the Sharks. We'll say this, though. At least Mike scored in the playoffs.
This is true.
And
I will say this, he was a good guy. Like the time we met him at Sharks and Strikes, really cool guy, really nice to hang out with. I just don't think he was a good hockey player, but it's all good, and it sounded like he was very popular in the locker room, very well liked. And if he's with the Barracuda, I'm sure he'll still be around. They'll still see him. He'll still be in San Jose probably. So.
And he's got to get them going on a nice Calder Cup playoff run. Yes, let's go for the double, people. When I mean a double, well, yes, we're going for a Stanley Cup and a Calder Cup. Oh, it's nothing you've ever seen before in pro hockey.
Chester Chivo says he hasn't cried this much since Han Solo died.
Spoiler alert.
What?
Like what? Well, if you still haven't seen it yet at this point,
You
then
fucking assholes.
just saying.
You fucking fucks.
Eric's just gonna storm
Yeah,
off of here now.
Kidding me? I've been working plus doing this show. No wonder I haven't even seen it yet. And seriously, I haven't seen the freaking Star Wars movie yet.
So you're the one guy.
You're the one guy. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, you just remind me of like Letterman's old announcer, David Letterman. Like when he had that one announcer, he'd like find ways to piss him off, and then he'd like start cussing and storming off like every other night.
I hate to tell you this, Eric, but yes, and I hate to tell most of America this because I don't think most of America has heard of this indie movie called Star Wars: The Force Awakens. But yes, it is true. Han Solo.
Go ahead, just spoil everything.
Apparently, you do have company though, Eric. Slushy Jake is also upset at being spoiled. I guess he hasn't gotten enough allowance yet to go see the movie, so you know. And actually, I haven't.
All right.
I haven't actually even. I haven't muted him tonight yet. It's like, yeah, we might hit the under tonight.
That's good behavior. I wanted to throw this up there as I'm one of the Photoshop experts that contribute to the program. You know, was giving out a branch, literally, to our friends in Toronto. Those who were very bummed to lose Pollock, Smalling, and definitely James Reimer. So, to our friends in Toronto, by all means, we have your back. If you want to rock this, by all means, go ahead and rock this beautiful Maple Shark logo. We'll be more than happy to have you jump on the bandwagon as we head towards the playoffs. Or better yet, if you rather have this logo with the new leaf behind our beloved shark shoe. And if that's not good for you, if you want to go old school, then of course we'll have you rock out the teal leaf and giving love to both cities. So Toronto, we have your back, we have your support. Let's work together and let's go win a cup. Back to you, Chris.
So I was saying this in the chat, but I think I figured it out. You're still in the process of downloading The Force Awakens, and on your connection, it'll be ready in another month or so, unless you have to spend an extra week downloading DivX as well.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, I think
you made that one a little too easy.
Of course. Chester Chivas just said that they just traded the mascot Carlton to the Kings. Oh boy, that's going to be tough. But at least we know Sharky could take both of them on. Absolutely.
Sharky would kick Bailey's ass.
He can kick Bailey's ass.
I mean, Bailey's basically like the Cowardly Lion in mascot form.
He just needs some courage. All right, I think we're getting off Kilter.
You mean we're pulling a Pucknology?
Wait, what? No.
We're getting off kilter.
No,
it was. We're all still heartbroken over Mike Brown. I think we're gonna need time to. It's too soon. We have a special hotline for the for counseling if you need it.
It's Gentry's phone number. It's 925.
It's 1-900. Don't you freaking dare.
Well, Jed, if you think about it, it's the first way we do both of our numbers.
Why don't you just give him my social security?
Yes.
Give him my social security.
Yes. For a good time, call Gentry. He is single. Anyways, let's move on to tomorrow night. Le Club de Hockey de Canadien have already been in San Jose. So, and minus, of course, Carey Price, who apparently Montreal is like treating this like Barry Bonds when he would miss most of the season. Be like, oh, he's coming back in 2 weeks. He's coming back in 3 weeks. he's going to be back in just a few weeks. He just put pads on, I think, last week. He ain't coming back unless the Canadians make a serious run to the playoffs. So Montreal coming to town. What do you guys think?
Considering the fact that we have owned them all season, I think the Sharks stand a good chance. And if we're able to get Reimer on as a debut as a Shark, cool. If not, then I'd love to see Dell get a shot. You know.
Oh, Montreal's kind of stopped their like free fall lately because I mean, looking at their last 10, they're 6-3-1. So looks like they've at least turned that around. Because I know at one point they were like 1-9 or something, 1-9 or something in their last 10. But looks like they've at least stopped their slide. But I think the Sharks should be able to beat them. Like I don't see a reason why they can't. So I like their chances.
I'm gonna do a bold prediction and say that the Sharks will score 4 goals tomorrow. I think that, and I'm gonna say 2 of them will be on the power play. I'm bold.
Hopefully they either scored by or assisted by Joe Thornton or Tomas Hertl. Just putting that out there. Yes, Chester Tivo asking, will the Habs be PK-less tomorrow? If they are, holy crap. I hope they get a lot in return, except if they made that trade with the Sharks.
That would be hilarious. The Sharks trade for PK Subban, and he shoots up the same night, and it goes against his old team all on the same day. That would be great.
That would be a crazy day for sure. Slushy asking, will John Scott get traded? And Chester, of course, saying yes for Nieto and a 4th. Because that's so Sharks.
No, 2 second-round picks.
Yep. We don't have any more picks. We don't have them. We'll just give him next year's first-round pick, just for the hilarity of it. And then John Scott will go and win the Conn Smythe in the playoffs and get his. And then Pavelski, as we win the Stanley Cup final, Pavelski will hand it to John Scott first, and it will be a moment in which we all cry. And then
I wouldn't mind if we get him an official. I think I would be okay with having John Scott around. But if we want him to actually play on the ice, pass.
Yeah. No, John Scott. No, John Scott. Great guy, fun to be around, but we don't need teddy bears. We need guys that can win Stanley Cups. So, of course, we will be back with you tomorrow night for that game after the game. Guys, final thoughts before we wrap this one up as my fantasy hockey season just starts to just crumble in front of my eyes.
Slip sliding away, right? Well, my final thought. Looks like the Sharks have at least the last couple games. I was looking a little bit nervous watching the play, but I think in the third they turned it around and put on a really good period. So if they can keep playing that kind of hockey, I think they'll be fine. I didn't think the first 2 were terrible, but they definitely needed more from their offense. So it's good to see. They actually have not lost 3 in a row since early December. So that pattern continues. They managed to avoid.
Yep. Gentry?
Winning.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, I didn't like most of the game. I thought it was pretty lackadaisical and boring, but the Sharks found a way to win it. And at this point in the season, 2 points is 2 points, and yay, we're gaining ground and we're solidifying a playoff spot. And hopefully, this will prepare us for making a deep run and hopefully, raising that beautiful trophy known as the Stanley Cup.
All right. Definitely we will have somebody around. I believe Ian's going to be on the Pucknology Twitter all morning. So Ian, get some rest because I think Trade Center starts at 5 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow morning. Definitely keep an eye out at Pucknology, and I'm sure at Ian Reed or I Read Pucknology will also be on that as well. We will be covering it, although it might be pretty quiet tomorrow, considering Chicago's made their boatload of moves, Sharks have made a boatload of moves. Unless Anaheim decides to do away with their internal cap, um, I can't see it. I mean, can you see any big names being traded tomorrow?
Not
Me,
impossible, but
I think the biggest name. I think it's either going to come down to Louis Erickson or you might see somebody. But I'm honestly at this point, I doubt that Stamkos goes at the deadline. So Louis Erickson might, but I think the big one that happened today was Eric Stahl. So I think you're going to see small moves. You're not going to see any more blockbusters.
Yeah, Duran, maybe for Tampa, just to get him off the books. I think he's kind of killed his trade value. Um, no, Chris, no, 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 no. I am not approving that deal at all. No, Ian, you can't quit either. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I don't think Cam Hughes would be would is going to go anywhere. So, uh, but also let's give much love to our friends at TSN 1040 in Vancouver. When the Sharks are playing the Vancouver Canucks, please make sure you hit them up 2 hours before the game. If it's during the weeknight, like Thursday night's game, their pregame starts all day. I mean, literally all day. So if you guys ever wanted to dream of how hockey centric would be the coverage could be for the Sharks, tune the TSN 1040 on Thursday. Of course, make sure you come back here for the post game show. Of course. All right. So until tomorrow, for our entire staff, including my fellow constituents Chris JWS and Gentry Alexander, along with our friends in the chat, to Laurel, Slushy, Chester, the Canadian robot himself, Ian Reed. I am Eric. You can follow me on Twitter at PuckGuy14. Also, make sure if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, the Sharks Suite Up is this Saturday. Now I could say this Saturday. And we will be getting together on by the Sharks Foundation kiosk outside section 118, 120. Of course, I think I'll be rocking my Marco Sturm jersey since it's Sturm Friesen alumni night. But we'll get together as the doors open to the arena. I believe it's going to be at 5:45. So make sure you're there for that. Make sure you subscribe to the Pucknology After Dark channel. Make sure you keep reading up on Pucknology.net. Ian will have a roundup about the Sharks trades along with the trades within the division. So with that, until tomorrow night, keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it real fresh. We'll bye. From the Canucks.